Tzu Chi volunteers host multi-day distribution of cash vouchers to more than 2,000 Sri Lankans. Businesses are embracing the circular economy to cut down on waste and promote sustainable development. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. In Sri Lanka, distribution of cash vouchers was to take place in April. Due to the pandemic, it was delayed for 5 months. The distribution lasted for 6 days to avoid group infection for more than 2,000 impoverished households. Here's more.
Before dawn in the early morning, there was a long queue outside the Colombo Tzu Chi office.
When I arrived at the venue at 5 a.m., many people were already queuing outside, so we decided to start the distribution earlier.
Because of the pandemic, the distribution of cash vouchers was delayed for 5 months, aiming to relieve the difficulties of more than 2,300 impoverished families.
We started preparing all necessary items for the distribution the night before, so that the process could be smoother the next day. Like cash coupons and cash registers for storing tickets have been all prepared in advance.
The distribution lasted for 6 days in order to disperse the flow of people and avoid gatherings. Disinfection and masks were essential so that everyone could receive the gift of love in a safe condition.
This is a great gift for us. Last year, I came to receive about $200. This year, I am also eligible. It is a great help for poor people like us.
Before leaving, the recipients put coins in a bamboo corn bank so as to help others. Their action of willing to give arouses empathy.
We really lack food. Our life is so hard. This Tzu Chi gift is a great help for us.
Seeing the smile of every recipient is the happiest thing for us.
Providing practical assistance and sincere care to accompany these families to survive through difficulties.
Tzu Chi Paraguay liaison office continued with monthly distribution for care recipients despite COVID-19. Nutritional supplements, diapers, medicine, and more were distributed. As for recipients who couldn't come forward to pick up the materials, they delivered personally to the recipients.
COVID has impacted Paraguay, but volunteers from the Ciudad del Este liaison office do not let it interrupt their duty to help the disadvantaged. Marisol has 3 children, and one of them suffers from microcephaly, a neurodevelopmental disorder, and cannot be without medication.
Thank you, Tzu Chi, for providing medication for her each month. From birth, my daughter has been on his medication, but thankfully now she is healthier and has gained weight. We are so happy and thank you for your care.
During the pandemic, many of the care recipients are unable to leave their home. Thus, Celia Esteche volunteers her services.
I'm here to help 2 laborers pick up their aid materials. One of them got into a vehicle accident and cannot work. The 2 adults and 2 children are suffering financially. The other family, the husband had a stroke. The couple are older and are not getting by. So thank you, Tzu Chi, for helping them.
Melina Elizabeth Villalba is the financial pillar of the family. Her income needs to feed her ailing mother and sister, as well as her own young child. Thus, Tzu Chi's assistance gives her a bit of breathing space.
I received diapers, formula, and medication. These items help my family tremendously. Thank you.
For those recipients who were unable to pick up the supplies at the liaison office, Tzu Chi made personal deliveries.
Agradezco la leche Pediasur que recibe mi hijo, que se alimenta por botón gástrico, y también el pañal. Muchísimas gracias. En esta situación con pandemia, y muchas gracias. Estoy agradecido con todo mi corazón.
Tzu Chi's care for the disadvantaged does not delay due to the pandemic. Tzu Chi's love from all over the world continues to shine in needed corners of Ciudad del Este.
Indonesian tourist hotspot Lombok Island suffered a massive earthquake towards the end of July 2018. To help the region recover, Tzu Chi began relief efforts and signed an MOU with the government to help rebuild. construction was completed in September of 2020, but because of COVID, only a simple handover ceremony was held.
I used all my power to pull my family outside, but this was already planned by Allah. My husband and one of my children did not make it. It was out of my hands. After the quake, I woke up from the shock and didn't remember anything I did during the quake. I want to do something to help because when someone is in trouble, we should all contribute. I often donate what I can because I want to help.
Seeing our own people suffer, I can relate. I'm happy to be able to do something to help them.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Singapore have launched the Stay Home Quilt Project. In addition to allowing migrant workers to express their feelings through sewing, second-hand recycled materials were also used. In the 2-month preparation process, everyone contributed their talents to complete the work. Here's more.
The setting is beautiful.
This house, made of second-hand recyclables, is located at the Tzu Chi Humanistic Youth Center in Singapore. The walls are made of quilts sewn in the Stay Home Quilt Project. From the roof to the wall, artists and volunteers work together to sew, in combination with Chi Cheng's creativity, giving rise to a more vital artwork.
They were very enthusiastic and open to suggestions and ideas when you talk about how to put this house together. And I like those kind of ideas because an artwork is something that is able to exude all kind of messages depending on the viewer and depending on how it is displayed.
I also didn't really do much sewing before, but then by doing sewing, it kind of like calms your mind in a way and it distracts you from all the anxiety that you are feeling.
This also attracted those women who are good at sewing. Gao Su Hui, who actively sewed masks for migrant workers before, also seized the opportunity to go there every week with friends to contribute her talents.
Other volunteers were also very happy to help. We thought and discussed with each other to see what we can do. Unity is strength. The finished product made by everyone is being displayed here for others to enjoy.
The homes sold by different community groups makes it not just an artwork, but also shines with the light of caring for each other in difficult times.
A disaster prevention drill in Wanhua District, Taipei was held at Youth Park. Logistics supply station was set up by Tzu Chi volunteers to simulate the emotional comfort and disaster relief work. Here's more.
In the disaster scene, the loved one of this lady is lost. The disaster prevention drill is simulating the real situation. Having grabbed the clues accurately, the broadcast station immediately initiates public announcement to assist finding. Tzu Chi volunteers keeps comforting her until the two sisters reunite. Simulating the scene of losing important items by the new immigrants, there are also interpreters to take care of each ethnic group. The disaster prevention drill in Wanhua District was held in the youth park, which occupies a large area and is the first choice for a command center with various rescue booths. Tzu Chi volunteers, who have much disaster relief experience, are responsible for supplies.
The Jingsi tables and folding beds are of great help to the affected residents. Others, like Tzu Chi's instant rice, can also fill their stomach, and the blankets provided are made from recycled PET bottles.
也是从回收的保特瓶制作出来的。
慈济在这边，它能够净化人。
Tzu Chi is here to purify people's minds. That's why we have this special aid distribution area and a place of spiritual comfort for you to provide to our residents.
居民很大的心灵抚慰。
It is necessary to coordinate and plan disaster prevention and rescue in advance, aiming for the charity units and the professional disaster relief team to get ready so that the damage caused by the disaster can be reduced.
Today we examine the principles of a circular economy. The Earth's resources are limited and cannot withstand the endless cycle of consumption and disposal. The circular economy takes a cue from nature and aims to protect the Earth.
Most of us have the experience of renting a car or taking a taxi. Sometimes we even rent a hotel when we go out for travel. But did you know that now we can even rent a light?
这个灯应该是比较柔和一点，因为有个灯罩嘛，而且又省电。那亮度基本上这个也算蛮亮的，嘿，不比以前的差。
Taiwan Sugar Corporation has about 100 lights here, and it used to cost the company a lot of money in lighting equipment and repairs. But now, as long as you have this dedicated service, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
前5年租的跟买的花的费用。
The rent for the first 5 years is about the same as what it would cost to purchase lights, which is about $50 US. But if we continue to rent for another 5 years, the cost will be a little less. For this 3-part flat panel lamp, it can be rented for 10 years, costing about $45 US. But if I buy it, it will cost about $85 US.
This changing business means that manufacturers have to provide good service and customize durable goods. For the manufacturer, the entire manufacturing process has to be redesigned and changed.
循环经济里面，我们希望这盏灯。
In the circular economy, the support for the life of this lamp must be at least 5 years or more. In the previous disposable economy, you only need to make it useful for 1 to 2 years because you can buy it repeatedly.
变黄、变脏、变它无法再复原成。
The new lighting systems even take into consideration future recycling, which was a factor in the manufacturing process.
所以它不会摔，它是不会坏掉的。
So if it falls, it won't break. So there are no safety issues. This lamp, you can see that it has no screws at all. To remove it, I just need to push it forward like this. You can easily take this light apart.
我这样子我就可以把这盏灯拆开来了。
When consumers rent a light, what they actually need is lighting services, not lamps. For suppliers of lighting, this equipment is one of their assets, and they will do their best to keep and maintain such lighting. This is part of the circular economy that is now being implemented, and this is quite different from the economic system that many people know.
We are seeing that there is low waste in nature. It is a model that we are trying to imitate. Nature's use of resources is a way that we should think of economic and industrial development, so that our resources can be constantly used in our industrial system as a sort of natural circulation.
We have an unmanned bus here and also some shared vehicles. Then at the entrance of this building, we'll have some shared spaces, such as urban farms or ecological ponds or ecological huts.
The modular construction method reduces carbon emissions. The building materials are made of recyclable materials, and they are produced, manufactured, decomposed, and recycled. A small recycling system also exists in this community.
这个开发案其实并不是说新建一
This
个住
development
宅。
project is not to actually build a house to allow residents to come here to buy property. Instead, it should be introduced to the circular economy, to the construction industry to create a circular economy. I think this should be a world's first when it comes to innovation.
This is the world's first circular economy construction case. Modularization is like building blocks. The layout can be adjusted arbitrarily. After disassembly, most of the materials can be recycled and no construction waste will be generated.
立面的外框它其实未来都是一组一组的框。
The outer frame of the facade is a group of frames and scaffolding. The material of the facade is locked inside and is also directly placed on the balcony to assemble the large outer structure. This is the concept of modularization in design.
The Huan residences, which are expected to start operation in June 2021, will only be rented and not sold, and maintenance will be undertaken by the manufacturer.
The lease in this case covers 6 major areas such as elevator, lighting, bathroom, home appliances, furniture, and kitchen waste equipment.
Circular economy is an economic system which resources can be restored, regenerated, and continuously recycled. The best example comes from nature. Taiwan's resources are limited. The government also listed circular economy and the promotion of new agriculture as key strategies for Taiwan's national transformation in 2016. It also held the first Asia-Pacific Circular Economy Roundtable in 2019 to be a pioneer in the implementation of circular economy at home and abroad.
At the end of the day, the amount of the use of the resources is causing huge environmental and health impacts. And that's why we have to focus in particularly in how to reduce them.
The circular economy in 2030 is expected to create economic benefits of up to $2 trillion a year. Over the past half-century, Taiwan imports account for 90% of energy, fertilizer, feed, more than 60% of food. In addition, the land is small and the population is dense. With the circular economy turning pollution and waste into something valuable, experiments have begun in livestock and construction industries, as Taiwan is continuing to move forwards, meeting its sustainable development goals. Tzu Chi's recycling mission marched into its 30th year. In China's Dongguan City and Zhangzhou City, volunteers brought recycling knowledge to each household.
Recycling education begins from the youth. It also has to be promoted to communities. Dongguan Tzu Chi volunteers were invited to promote eco-friendliness to families in Qingwan community. The drink containers such as Tetra Pak, cans, and bottles may be thrown away as trash, but these items can be recycled.
Put this into the water and rinse it. It has sweetness, so it will attract cockroaches. After we crush it, we put it together to recycle. This belongs to the paper category.
Volunteers utilize the recycling 10-finger slogan in order to educate children which resources can be recycled while leading everyone to participate, making the event more meaningful.
Earth is our home. We must protect it. For example, the papers we used on learning can be recycled. On the roads, if we see trash, we can bring it along with us.
Today, I have gained a clear knowledge on categorizing recyclables, and I have taught my son on how to educate our family on topic of categorizing recyclables.
The promotion of recycling has set foot in Fujian's Zhangzhou City. At the simple yet humble Shuangxi village, there is a significant number of seniors here. Volunteers, while visiting, also promoted eco-friendliness as seniors take notes.
Everything that you have said makes sense. It is very helpful to our environmental hygiene and health, so we should follow our methods of doing these things.
Today you came over to speak and promote recycling. This will bring our village to act. It's a good way of doing so.
Vegetarian meal gatherings along with recycling. Volunteers expect Shuangxi village to create a unique atmosphere compared to other villages.
A volunteer in Jiangsha, Hunan leads the elderly to do morning exercise and later brings them to do recycling each day. Take a look.
Every Wednesday is the recycling day of the Zhenyuan community in Changsha. In early morning, a lot of people gather to do recycling.
It starts from 6:15 and lasts about an hour to 7:15. During this period, everyone can exercise. It's also our best time to collect recyclables.
This is good for everyone, right? It's also good for our body because we can move and exercise.
Volunteer Lu Yu is the initiator of this company's recycling site. She started doing recycling in July last year. It was originally held once a month. Later, when more volunteers joined the rank, it changed to once a week. Even residents of nearby communities come to join.
In the past, I used to bring my kid to the Maple Mountain to do recycling. Now when we go outside and have some rubbish in hands, he will take initiative to see where to throw it. He never did this before. Now when he sees a carton box outside, he'll think that I must pick it up. So I hope more families will join the ranks, not just grandparents.
There are fewer people coming today. Usually there are at least 30 to 40 people. Sometimes there are even more than 60 to 70 people. Some grandparents will come here after doing exercise in the morning.
In addition to doing recycling every week, community residents also lend out a small warehouse to store recyclables, allowing this green action to be fully practiced in this community.
These things are all useful materials. They're really good and clean.
To lead an eco-friendly life, volunteers have motivated community residents to do their best to protect our home and the Mother Earth.
Li Wenhuan is 45 this year and received the Presidential Award for Education. Li overcame a disorder that impairs his vision, still he was able to become a special education teacher to bring hope to dark corners of Taiwan.
如果我们迎向阳光，我们看见的是阳光，阴影绝对是在我们后面。好，那往下。好，再接，对，很棒。软软的。草皮，对不对？很好。
Teacher Li Wenhuan, who is nearly blind, is leading 5-year-old An, who is completely blind, to explore the world around him.
篮球架有没有胖胖？圆形的吗？你看，有没有敲到了？篮球架。
If early intervention in terms of education comes into play, then it can help all the vision impaired people to build a foundation of basic skills which will help them in the future.
Due to having Lieber's hereditary optic neuropathy, Li Wenhuan's vision rapidly worsened when he reached the 8th grade.
We have limited time to live on our lives, but despite this, even though we are disabled, we should still try to shine brightly.
He then transferred to Taipei to attend a special high school and successfully got into National Zhanghua University of Education for special education.
哦，很好，很好，找到了，你好厉害啊！
好棒哦，抱一个。
长大过马路那些，如果走歪了。
When he grows up, if he walks crooked across the crosswalk, it will be dangerous. I always tell my students I have 28 hours in a day because I save 4 hours from my play and sleep time for learning. I can't waste my life.
学习东西，我觉得不能浪费我的人生啦。
To help more vision-impaired people 14 years ago, Li established an association for the blind in Miaoli.
A few years ago, he mentioned it was weird that he was seeing more and more members of the association becoming financial pillars of the family. It turns out, thanks to his mentorship, the vision-impaired friends' mental and physical health are doing well and can make a decent living.
If you have determination to work hard and never give up on yourself, then you can succeed, because only by not giving up on ourselves will others not give up on us.
不要怕，再来一次。好，跨过去。
A fire occurred at a house in Wanhua District, Taipei City late night. 20 Tzu Chi volunteers came despite the rain to help an elderly couple clean up and start over. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.